People deluded, I'm back again. Now, we know I like many things. I love tactics, I love my football club, I love football in general. Young players, especially, that sounds so wrong each and every time I say that. Safeguarding, FA, trust me, I'm not on the funny man thing, but I like young players. That's a big reason as to why you lot follow me and stuff like that. Vontae Daley Campbell, I'm not going to stop this agenda until I see he signed a new deal. Again, I'm just a football fan, wannabe youth football fan enthusiast, and I just see. I really don't. Again, I don't know anyone connected with the guy or any exclusive information like these journalists claim. I'm just trying to, as a fan, read between the lines because I'm seeing a lot of players sign new deals. Oli Inca and Matthew Dennis, great man, happy stuff. Happy to see every young player sign, whether it's their first pro or extended deal. But I'm reading between the lines. Balogun signed a new deal. The two players I've just said have signed a new deal. What does that mean for Vontae Daley Campbell? Because we're in March now. His contract is going to be up in May. He's played for England at youth level. He put in as a first-year scholar. For one reason, I loved him even more. Great season, especially in the FA Youth Cup, where he actually did better against Callum Hudson-Odoi than Bellerin has. Obviously, that one was in pre-season, but you get the point. I thought he was one of them that would be given a chance, especially because Arsenal, obviously, I like the likes of Saka, Amici, Reece Nelson, Emil Smith Rowe. We could sit here and name that he's a bit younger than all of them, but Malcolm Elowabi, scholar next year. You've seen what I've just said. I've tended to go towards the more attacking talents, the more eye-catching maverick sort of players. Do you get what I'm saying? As an Arsenal fan, that's what we're used to. Or if it's the strikers like Balogun and John Jules, I don't know which one is better. I love them both dearly and want them to progress, even whether it's at Arsenal or not. But Vontae Daley Campbell, at a club where we don't really bring through defensive prospects. Obviously, Bellerin was there. We know he came from Barca and was converted. Vontae Daley Campbell, ironically, played as a midfielder or further up the pitch in his youth. But defensive prospect, they don't come through at Arsenal too tough. We've got issues at right back. Again, he's still inexperienced. He's still got a lot to work on, in my opinion. But I think he's someone you tie down. I do believe it's a silver lining for him, though. When one door closes, another one opens. Again, it's too early to say whether it's a mistake or not from Arsenal. In hindsight, it might prove not to be. But for me, it is a massive mistake. I think he's got a lot of potential. I actually think he's got potential to play in the Premier League one day. Obviously, he's lacking experience. And for me, if he can improve his heading and probably giving away fouls in certain areas, he could be a baller, man. Back to the point I was saying about Oli Inca. Oli Inca was a midfielder. He's been playing at right back for the under-23s, right, people? Think about it logically. If Vontae Daley Campbell is a second-year scholar, meaning he'll be ineligible to play at under-18s level next year and will have to go to 23s, and Oli Inca signed a new deal, who's been playing right back and has been primarily the first choice right back, because Vontae Daley Campbell, I believe, has only played 45 minutes or something like that for the under-23s. He hasn't really featured. So if Oli Inca's there, you've also got Jordi Osei Tutu, who, in my opinion, should be going out on loan. He's 20 years of age, but he's still there. There's a couple other options they could look to use at right back. So you can see how the pathway might be blocked for Vontae Daley Campbell, how they work rightly or wrongly. I don't necessarily agree with it, but how he can't get any football, to which you could possibly see as to why we haven't heard he signed a new deal yet, because you're seeing on the website everybody else signing new deals, and I can't understand how he's not. Balogun and him were the concerning ones for me, because again, they didn't sign new deals. I actually have some unreleased videos on my points about Balogun, but he signed a new deal, so it's not necessarily relevant. But I think it's a silver lining, man. Obviously, the silver lining is, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of clubs after him. Hopefully he picks the club or finds a club where it's a clear pathway for him. I mean, this is a man who's been chased by a lot of European clubs. This is a man who, together with Saka and Amici, played very well for England's under-17s last summer in the championships. I like him a lot, man. It's a silver lining, man. When one door closes, another one opens, because I'm pretty sure he must be an Arsenal fan. He's a London lad, so he must have, and he's made a lot of friends here since he's been here as a kid. So I guarantee he wanted to make it here. He wanted to go out at the Emirates, play in the Carling Cup, become a first-team fixture, try and fight Bellerin eventually for a first choice place, or be in the squad in some capacity. And it's not going to happen. And to be honest, these things can break you or make you, because a whole host of clubs will be after him, both abroad and here. Hopefully he finds a club where there's a clear path and they rate him, and it could actually accelerate his development, to be fair with you. And I think it's a personal mistake from Arsenal. I think he's going to have a good career. I'm not here to say he's going to be world class and this, that and the other. I just think he's going to be a good player, man. I like how he gets forward. I like how he defends. I like how he's got good technical abilities. I like how, pardon my language, but he doesn't take no shit. Like, you can tell he's from Brixton. Like, he's not on the getting bullied and getting roughed around sort of treatment. Like, he's firm but fair in his tackles. Like I said, he doesn't take no prisoners. Trying to barge him is a myth. Like, I've seen so many midfielders at under 18 levels try and physically move him, man. It's just like, listen, that guy. Listen, he's them sort of guys. He's all coming like Jogba, man. Like, if you try and weights him, you're gonna bounce right off him, man. Like, his pecs is probably bigger than my head, to be fair with you. But I like Vontae Daley Campbell. In all seriousness, man, I like him. I know a good fullback when I see it. I was a fullback as well, so I'll always want these players to progress as far as they can. It's going to be a loss for us, but hopefully it's someone else's gain. Like I said, man, I want him to become as best as he can be, wherever he can be. I hope to God Arsenal give him a new deal and he signs a new contract, or between his agent or whoever is involved, something's been done, because this is just mere speculation. But as the time keeps ticking, like you've seen with young players and other players, these things are telling signs. So I think it's a blessing in disguise for him, to be honest. Because imagine, let's just say he signs a new deal. I think the club, my personal opinion, I don't know anybody at the club or connected with it, but I think the club don't rate him, because I can't understand how he's not at under 23 level and doing certain things when he's not even just ability and hype and stuff. He's been playing well for the last 2 seasons. I think the club don't rate him personally, or people, not even necessarily the club, the people in the positions don't necessarily rate him or fond of him for whatever reason. So let's just assume he was given what I would like for him to do, is given a new deal, he signs it, and then he's not really playing of any significance at under 23 level, because it's completely different. But you look at Alfie Matthews and Josh Martin at under 18s level, first year scholars, barely had a look in, not playing any football. How can you develop if you're not playing any football? Imagine that happens to Vontae, and then you get on that cycle of possibly trialing at other clubs and all that nonsense, and he can actually play left back as well. Obviously he's a right back, but I've seen him do that, so I can't understand how he's not here. And even if the club didn't want him to progress into the first team, you just got to take a leaf out of Chelsea's book. When you have good young players, standout young players, or people that are excelling, you tie them down and get the best asset you possibly can, man. I like Vontae Daley Campbell a lot, so obviously there's a lot of bias in my decisions or what I'm actually saying, because I'm drawn to him, man. I love Vontae Daley Campbell, Trey Coyle. Hopefully he can raise his game a bit, or he might not get a chance here. But he's doing that in patches as well. If he can get back to the consistency of about 2 years ago, he'd be a baller. I don't need to tell you that I love Amici. I've been banging on about Amici, Saka and all of these players for time, but in particular, that little age group of Vontae Daley Campbell, Saka, them little first year scholars. I know Saka's technically a year below them, but I love them all, man. Balogun, I like his movement. There's just something, I could be here talk all day about Tyrese John Jules, to be fair. There's just something really likeable about that player. Amici, I mean, he's a maverick, man. He can dance past players, he can hit free kicks, he's left-footed, so he can be played on the left wing, which entices the team even more for me. He's 19 next January. We've got to take our time with him. He's only been back for a brief period. He had his injury, but he looks to be a serious player, man. And I know Saka's a baller, Emil Smith-Rowe's a baller, Amici's a baller, and Nelson's a baller, and I want them all to progress. But as an Arsenal fan, to be honest, with recent times, it is promising, but it doesn't. When I look beyond the ability and how much I love these players, something leads me to be quite concerned, because it rarely is a case of all of these players going into first team. I think they all have genuine potential, to be fair with you, man. I really do. I really do like these young players, man. I really do. And you lot know I'm not just making this up. How many times have I made young videos about young Arsenal players or my feelings in regards to the academy? I've gone slightly off topic. It was meant to just be centered around, apologies people, Vontae Daley Campbell, but it is what it is at this moment in time, man. He's a baller. I don't think he's going to be given his pro deal here, which is a shame, but it could be a blessing in disguise elsewhere. Either way, I hope it happens, because there's a lot of football to be played and a lot of decisions to be made. It's only March. Hope he's given a new deal. Want him to stay, badly want him to stay and be given a chance and a pathway. Like I said, he's not going to be the player I think he is overnight, but I think there's a potential there, and I just want him to be the best player he can be, man. I want to see him become a household name in football. I want to see him earn a good wage and look after his family and do all the things you get to do via being a footballer. I want to see him progress, man. I really like the kid, man. I think I think he's got a positive. I mean, I like a lot about him, but I like his attitude, man. I think, man, I really like to see someone who doesn't like taking bad up. Like, he's really not a mug. Like, that doesn't mean, I'm not saying he's flying into a million challenges. He's firm but fair. That'd be the best way to describe him, man. To be honest, Arsenal as a whole, let me not block my future blessings in case Arsenal ever want to employ me, but our players have been a bit soft at youth level to first team. For all the technical ability and the 1,000 passes and the great first touch, they have been a bit soft and they can be kicked out of games, rightly or wrongly. Vontae Daley Campbell isn't one of them, and like I said, man, he's got the great, for me, he's got the lovely ends mentality of not taking anything, and it's mixed with lovely ability that's been coached and natural ability that he's got. He's got good athleticism, he's got wonderful technical abilities, he can hold his own, can improve in several incidences. Like I said, for me, the main one would be giving away fouls in key areas. I've said this before, but if you go and watch Arsenal versus Spurs at under 18s level or the highlights, he gave away a foul in a silly area. They then utilised the set piece and was able to score. For me, his heading could probably be improved, and at times I feel he's very good when he goes forward, but at times he possibly plays within himself. But apart from that, the man's a baller and the world's his oyster, man. And one man's, not that he's trash, but one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's the gift and the curse of football. It's all about opinions, to be honest. Look, obviously it's not as white and black as this, but you look at Gnabry, for one reason or another, for the occasional games like when we won the FA Cup and the Palace and Swansea's, he wasn't necessarily rated. He was let go on loan during the Olympics when Iwobi got to stay. That shows you that, not to put Iwobi against Gnabry, but that shows you Wenger's thinking. It was, okay, Iwobi, you're not going to the Olympics with Nigeria. I'm trying to plan for next season. You can stay. Gnabry, for whether it was confidence, fitness, whatever, he was allowed to go. Fast forward, he's at Munich now. If he stayed at Arsenal and stayed within this, he might not be at Munich. You can't rely on people. You need to sign yourself. And to be fair with you, I'm liking, just in general, I'm liking what young players are doing, whether it's Germany, whether it's moving to another club abroad, because you want to look back in your career and say that I didn't reach that level because of me, or I shouldn't have done this. That's the sort of person I am. I would want to be able to look back at this football thing and think, okay, I tried, didn't it? It weren't the best decision, but I did it. Rather than what if, or rather than, Arsenal they were messing around with me. I was just staying at under 23s. I wasn't getting a chance. Rather than just sitting there, seize your opportunity, sign yourself is what I say. But yeah, man, I've talked about 7 minutes longer than I planned on. I've got other videos to do, so I'm gonna get out of it. People deluded. I'm out.